Hey everyone, welcome to Four Keys to Creating a Thriving Membership. This is a re recording of the original webinar because we had a lot of technical difficulties. The internet went out halfway through. There was a storm that day in my area. I had to use my phone. Then we were able to get the internet back up and we came back on. It was a whole mess. So, what I did is I re recorded the presentation here. Unfortunately, what that means is that we lost a lot of the Q&A and a lot of the additional help that I gave. So I will be happy to answer any questions. If you please just send me a message on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is where I respond the best, but Facebook or LinkedIn are the two where I'm most responsive. So feel free to reach out to me there. Again, I go by J. Allen Hull. That's Allen, JALLENHULL on both Facebook and LinkedIn, as well as Instagram, because nobody wants advice from a guy named Josh Ahol unless you're going to see a proctologist. So, anyhow, let's jump into it. That's my bad joke about my bad name. Let's get into it. I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll jump right into the presentation. All right. So, four keys to creating a thriving membership. Um, Key number one is community tactics. Now, really, these are retention tactics. It's engagement and retention tactics that we're going to be talking about because that's what creates a thriving community. So, these tactics are about fostering a sense of belonging among your members. When people feel connected, they feel understood and part of something bigger. And honestly, they're more likely to stick around. So that's why we are going to be talking about these different tactics. Really, they're retention, but they are engagement. And so, number one is the community retention tactics. So, what are those tactics? Well, first of all, the virtual co-working calls. This is something you can set up. This is a simple way to show up and work with your members digitally. It replicates the feeling of working in an office together. So really all you're doing is just inviting them to come in on a Zoom call. You're not going to talk about anything. You're not doing it's really just co-working where you're encouraging them to show up and have that accountability where they can work quietly with others on the Zoom call. You can play some music or you can invite them to play their own music as long as they're on mute. And really, that's the idea is just to get them engaged with each other by doing that. The second thing is live meetups. The future of membership sites is both the online and the offline. There is nothing more powerful than taking virtual relationships to the next level by meeting in the real world. Live meetups build lasting relationships, and it's just that simple. In fact, mastermind.com, Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins' company that I coach and consult for, they are doing this exact thing. They're doing live mastermind meetups in different cities where there's different coaches so that they can bring people that are part of mastermind.com together to actually meet each other more than just on a virtual screen. So that is another way to create community and create engagement um, in your membership. The next one is virtual breakout sessions. So, virtual breakout sessions are a great way for people to get together live via Zoom, Facebook Live, or Google Hangouts, for example. So that way they can brainstorm and support one another. So, again, it's kind of like the virtual co-working session, but what you're going to do is you're going to have people, you're going to break them out into rooms so that they can talk with each other, they can mastermind with each other and really help each other out, because sometimes people are learning things in our memberships, they're learning things from us and they're applying them in a way that maybe even we didn't think about. And so this is a great way to bring in that additional resource without costing you anything more on the on your end of bringing people in and having people help each other out. So the next way is challenges. Now, a lot of times people think of challenges as a way to get people into the membership, and it is. It's a great way to run a challenge. But again, even Mastermind is starting to do some of this where they're running challenges within groups, within memberships that they already have. So a challenge focuses on a particular action for a set period of time, a 1 day, a 3 day, a 5 day, a 30-day challenge. Challenges create engagement and they provide a level of accountability for your members. It's even a way to gamify it as far as you can have leaderboards and scoreboards and people having to do particular tasks. And by doing that, it helps them to actually engage with the material you're giving them. Remember, it's not just about giving people material. It's about creating transformation in their lives. And for them to transform, you have to get them to do something. They have to do something. A challenge is a great way to do that. And it's one of the things that I absolutely love in the different memberships that I'm a part of, as well as the ones that I run. The next one over here is shared goals. So this is an overall goal for the community to work on together. It creates focus, it fosters collaboration within the community, and it allows them all to work towards a singular goal. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a singular goal in the sense that all of them have to chip in to achieve a greater thing. That's one way of doing it, but it can be a shared goal of just everybody needs to get to, they need to get 5 new leads a week, or something along those lines. So everybody's working towards this shared goal, but a shared goal in the community itself of we're all going to work together to bring this goal to pass is another way to create that community and get them to hang around and stay in your community and make it a thriving community. The next one is accountability partners. So sometimes accountability partners and groups will happen organically within your community. And other times you can actually facilitate the matchmaking process. Accountability means that there is a higher probability that people will implement what you are teaching. Again, if you know you have to show up for an accountability partner, you don't want to let them down. It's just like the same reason why people buy or pay for a personal coach at a gym, a training coach, because they don't want to disappoint. Yeah, they could go, they could figure out the workouts, they could do all of that. That's all online, but they don't want to disappoint this person. And they know they're more likely to achieve their fitness goal if they have somebody that they're accountable to. It's the same concept here. They don't want to let their partner down, even though they're both on the journey together. They don't want to let them down from what they're supposed to be doing. So they'll show up more prepared and more engaged. The next one is your member spotlight. So spotlight your members who are achieving success, joining the new people joining the community, or anything that will help members to get to know each other. Just spotlighting them as you see them have success. Again, this is something that Mastermind did in their Facebook group. This is something that helped the people feel engaged. Not only that, but then people wanted to engage more because they wanted to be a member who is spotlighted. So new members, but also members that are achieving things. Don't forget those groups. Here is one. I absolutely love this next one. And it is something that is so overlooked. And yet it is a prime setup for people to engage and to create some interaction in your community. And it is the member directory. Every group has a member directory, whether you're on school, a Facebook group, there's a member directory, and members are able to proactively connect with each other when you provide contact information through a directory. So on Facebook, members can actually go in and customize their profile in a group. So it doesn't, when you click on their name, it doesn't take you directly to their main Facebook wall or page. It takes you to a profile that's part of the group, a group profile. People can customize it to tell them what they do, who they are, how to contact them. And the best part of this is that it's built in right there, the member directory. Same with school. And you can contact, you can send messages, you can reach out. And so encouraging members to showing them how they can customize their member information so that people can reach out to them. It keeps them engaged. It makes them want to share that information with other members. And again, create little masterminds and maybe some accountability partners organically. So that's one of the most overlooked methods of creating engagement in a group. Here's another favorite of mine is a share the wins thread. So share the wins thread is it's just exactly what it sounds like. It's a way to celebrate people as they progress in your membership. Creating a discussion thread in your forum or Facebook group is a great way for people to share their progress without feeling like they're bragging. So it's a thread. So they're not your main wall isn't filled with everybody bragging or posting these wins, but at the same time, those that maybe would shy away from that because they don't want to post about that, or don't feel like they're making as big a wins, they can post on a thread and they might feel safer to do that. So a share the wins thread is a great way to keep everything in one place for people to go to celebrate each other, to see who's winning, who needs help, and all of the above on that. So again, this is another highly underrated method of doing this. I mean, think about it. Stories are your most powerful marketing asset. Having a share the wins thread is a great way for you to gain insight as to what's happening with your members and the progress that they're making. Yeah, I mean, not only that, but celebrating people and the results increases your retention, and it gives you a clear measure of who's achieving what, how they're achieving it. It helps you to see if there's people you need to reach out to help. It helps you to see where maybe people are maybe achieving something, but only because they had to seek outside help, so that you can clarify something in your membership. I mean, but the big thing is when you have a share the wins thread and people get to share their wins and we're celebrating each other. Have you ever heard of anyone leaving a membership because they made too much progress? Right? Like that just doesn't happen. So it's just a brilliant way to help keep people engaged. Now we're going to move on to the next tactic, content tactics. Now, content tactics, this is something where a lot of people get hung up. This is where there's a lot of mess in the middle because they don't know, or they don't know how, or how do we get them engaged? What do we do? So content is king, right? But it's not just about quantity, it's about quality as well. It's about relevance, it's about timeliness. And these next tactics that I'm going to share, they focus on delivering super valuable content that your members crave, especially from this group or this membership. That's why they're here. So serve them up on one of the tastiest dishes, and that'll keep them coming back for seconds, right? And that's what we want, is to have them continue to come back over and over and over. And so that's exactly why we're going to jump in here. So the first one is a quick win. As much as possible, you want to focus on helping your members get a quick win. And a lot of people misunderstand this. You know, when they get a quick win, your members gain momentum. And when they gain momentum, they get excited and they immediately see the membership experience through a positive lens. They immediately see the value. But where people misunderstand, people like us that are running memberships, is we think that we need to get them a quick win towards a huge goal, get them to achieve a huge goal. It doesn't have to be that at all. A quick win could just be completing a particular lesson or completing your onboarding, for example. Just, hey, here's this video, watch this video. There's 3 tasks to do at the end of this video. Do those 3 things. People do them. You know, it's update your membership. We talked about the membership directory, right? Update your membership directory information. Um, introduce yourself, you know, tell us 3 interesting things about you. The introduction post, by the way, I don't like them a lot of the time because I feel like now I'm on the spotlight. Give them something to do. Again, that accomplishes 2 things. One, it removes the I don't want to be the center of the spotlight, trying to figure out what I should say. But number 2 is it gives them a quick win. Just say, you know, tell us your top 3 ice cream flavors, or introduce yourself by telling us what your business is and who you serve. I mean, people would do that all the time. It's a quick win and it's so simple, and we overcomplicate this all the time. The next one is overlapping content. So overlapping content is very powerful. It's a very powerful retention strategy because, well, I want you to think about how you could create content that builds month after month. It builds on each other, right? You see where it says to be continued in that slide. Um, think of your favorite Netflix series and how they string you along to watch every single episode. You can create a similar feeling with your content so that people, you know, it's kind of like, okay, here's this step. Oh, next week, we're going to talk about ABC, and it gets people set up with, I mean, and it's really that simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You don't have to try to think about where do I come up with a cliffhanger. It's literally that simple. Of next week, we're going to talk about this, and this is how it builds on what we did this week. So make sure that you're creating overlapping content. The next one is ritualistic content. What do I mean by this? This is where you deliver a piece of the content at the same time each month. It's very simple, same time each month or same time each week, but people are creatures of habit, and ritualistic content creates a routine that people look forward to. Again, coming back to Mastermind, one of the things they love to do, and the reason why I keep coming back to them is because this is what I pattern my memberships off of. And, you know, every Monday, Dean is in the Facebook group going live with a quick Monday motivations bit, right? Ritualistic content gets people to come back, and if they miss it, they're going to be sure to catch it because they know it dropped on Monday at this time, at this day, and this is what they do. So this is where you deliver that piece of content the same time each month. The next kind of content actually comes from someone who I used to work with, in my company, he worked with me in my company, and he used to work for Apple, and he worked on the support side. And it's a phrase that they used at Apple, and I've concluded it here, but it's surprise and delight content. We want to surprise and delight. We want to go above and beyond, over deliver. So surprise bonuses create excitement, anticipation, and fun in your membership. Plus, it encourages your members to consume your content in case there's a surprise down the road. So again, how I got involved working with Mastermind was because of some of this. Because Dean, in his normal ritualistic content, his Monday motivation, he said, "Hey, by the way, we're also working on this. This is coming up. Those of you who want to join, if you're on this call, go to this link right now. We're only taking the first 1,000 people or whatever it might have been." So the idea is surprise and delight content people will want to watch because they'll never know when you might just come up with an extra bonus, an extra course, an extra something to give them. And they want to be the first ones to get that. And that's why surprise and delight is such a powerful way to keep people engaged, keep people watching your content, and keeping people there. The next one, it seems almost basic, but it's live content. Live content gives people something to look forward to. It's an event. So when you have the content, make sure your members are fully aware of it. Put it on the calendar and build up anticipation for it. Put a lot of posts announcing the live content. So that's exactly what you want is, obviously we talk about live content, but we want to talk about special live content, not like your ritualistic live content. We want to talk about, a special guest that I'm interviewing or a special announcement going live for a special announcement, surprise and delight. But live content always, always helps people to engage. They want to leave comments, they want to engage with you, they want to interact. So, live content, that's how you get people there. The next is a content vault. There is a gold mine of value in your existing content. Remind people what they have access to and make it easy for them to consume it. So every week, if you're going live every week, if you're producing a new course once a month, or you're having a mastermind once a month, record everything and then store it in an organized way so people can access it easily, and remind them constantly. This does a couple of things. One, it gets them to engage on content that, oh yeah, I missed that week. They can go back and watch it. But two, it reminds them the value of what they're paying for. They're paying for a they're paying for a membership that is building, and it's constantly giving value, and it reminds them, I don't want to miss a month because I'm always going to get some good value out of this, and I don't want to stop because I don't want to lose access to the vaults of everything that's been built up before. So it's a great way to keep them engaged, to keep them retained and coming back for more. The next tactic is communication tactics. So communication is the bridge between you and your members. It's about keeping the lines open, listening to feedback, and being proactive. When members feel heard and informed, trust is built. It's like having an open door policy where everyone feels in the loop. Um, at a bare minimum, you should be communicating with your members at least once per week. Now, I'm not talking about your live content or anything like that through content. I'm talking about through whether it's emails or announcements in the group or messaging, the DMs, the instant messaging, but at least once per week. Twice per week is even better for keeping members aware of all the goodness happening inside your membership. So an email list is vitally important in this case so that you can email them at least once or twice a week to let them know what's going on, remind them of content that's coming up, all of those things, communicating. And we're going to talk about all of the reasons and all of the ways to communicate. Here are some of the things that you should be communicating to your members. So number one is upcoming content. Obviously, the more you communicate what is coming up, the more anticipation you create for new content releases. Tease it, get them excited. When members look forward to your content, the thought of canceling never crosses their mind. They're always looking forward to what's next. So always let them know in your emails or in your messages what the upcoming content is. The other thing that you want to remind them of is new content. Don't assume that your members are naturally going to know of all the new content that you've released inside your membership. Always give them a recap of what was released over the past week, or again, you should be emailing or communicating at least once a week. Always give them an update on the what was released the previous week, and let them know what's new and direct them there. Even give them links so that way they're going straight to that new content. The next one is hot topics. Encourage members to hop into discussion around these topics. These could be a thread. It could be a thread in your Facebook community that took off organically. Simply send them an email about the valuable insights happening in the thread and include a link to it. So that way they can join into the fun that, hey, this person asked this question. Have you ever wondered that? Well, guess what? A lot of people have had experience and they're answering. Again, you don't even have to provide the answer. Other people are answering and providing the value. You just provide the link so that somebody feels like, hey, this is why I'm part of this membership. It's not just for Josh or not just for Bob or Sally. It's for everybody else who's in there as well, and to get their help and value in that. So after hot topics, the next one is community wins. This is an opportunity to celebrate your people. Not only that, people like being surrounded by others who are having success. So celebrate often. This is, again, in your communication. Hey, did you see what Sally did this week with this? Here's the link to that. Or you can create a thread. And again, that share the wins thread. And every week tell them about, hey, we've got 10 new people in the share the wins. Make sure to check it out. Here's a link to it. And again, this is something I kind of mentioned a little bit before, but in your communication, remind them of the value. You are always selling and reselling the value of your membership. Write that down right now. Write it down. You are always selling and reselling the value of your membership. Make sure that you are reiterating in your communication the value and again pointing them out to the share the wins thread, show to the content vault, to the new content, to the live, to the bonuses that you've given, to all of these things, and make sure that they are constantly reminded. This helps retain them, helps keep them wanting to stay engaged because they're going, yeah, I am getting this value. So the next one after this is tease upcoming events. In your communication, tease your upcoming events. It's equally important to tease upcoming events. When you show people the behind the scenes preparation for an upcoming event, it creates anticipation. So that's what I mean by tease is, do some videos of like, hey, I'm here at the hotel getting things ready, or I'm back, you take a screenshot of your slide deck that you're preparing to say, hey, look at what I'm preparing for next week's event, live training. Create anticipation and give them an appreciation for the value that they'll receive at the event by sharing that behind the scenes. Communicate all events, whether they are live or digital, like a webinar, online meetups, live meetups, etc., to all of your members. Now, here's the next one. Again, this is a forgotten art. This next one I'm going to share with you. Physical mail. A simple postcard or letter goes a long, long way. This kind of communication stands out because many people are so used to getting only digital mail. So to get something in the mail for their birthday, and again, this takes getting that information. That could be part of the onboarding process, so you know when to send these things out. But just a little card, or if they posted something in the wins thread, then the share the wins thread, you can send them a cute little postcard saying, hey, congratulations, something like that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can apply the physical mail. So the next tactic is, oh, sorry, I forgot phone calls. So phone calls, again, pick up the phone and call your members. Now, just as a little bit of a side note to this, what I like to do is make sure that I have a separate number. So whether it's like a burner app or a Google Voice number, so it's not my direct line so that my phone isn't getting blown up after they get what they think is my number. But give them a call just to congratulate them. It totally, again, surprise and delight. It shocks them that, wow, Josh is actually reading that thread. He's actually reaching out to me to congratulate me for my win or to wish me a happy birthday or whatever it might be. So phone calls is a big one. That's the last on the communications. Now, the next one is recognition tactics. Everyone loves a little spotlight now and then, and these recognition tactics are all about celebrating your members' achievements, their milestones, and their contributions. I'm talking about the big wins, the little wins, and everything in between. So go ahead and give them a standing ovation and let them know that their efforts don't go unnoticed. This is where some of the phone call, the mail communication tactics might come in. So the first one is going to be birthdays and anniversaries. These are big milestones in people's personal lives, and people love getting recognition. The more you know about your members, the more you're equipped to be able to recognize these different events. Now, for example, the Edge Mastermind, Dean Graziosi's highest level mastermind that he has right now, on our birthdays, we all get flowers, and it's great. He has a team and he has the resources that he can do that, but he sends out flowers. And you don't have to go to those lengths, but again, just a little card in the mail. There was another organization that I was a part of, another membership, where they would send like a $5 Starbucks card to recognize people. So little things like that. The next thing is ideal behavior. So you want to recognize people for good behavior. This could be things like supporting other members, offering a helpful tip, or providing free resources. Acknowledging people in your membership in this way will reinforce the vibe that you want in your community. It'll reinforce the good behaviors, so more people will try to do that, so that we're not letting bad behaviors creep in. It's easier to keep them out naturally so that we don't have to deal with that confrontationally if we remember to always reinforce and engage the ideal behavior. The next one tactic is milestones. Now, I put welcome to Utah here because when we go to Arizona, the last time we went, we took some of my daughters with us. Mindy and I took some of our daughters. And when we started coming home, they loved the trip, but they were also ready to come home. And when we started getting home, we got to the welcome to the Utah sign, the border from Arizona to Utah, because we drove down there. They just lost their minds. It was absolutely awesome. They acknowledged it. We acknowledged it. Look, we're in Utah, and they loved it. So this is the exact same concept. Acknowledge people for crossing a big milestone or advancing to the next stage in their journey. Make sure that they take a minute to acknowledge it. We took a moment to acknowledge it and celebrate it with our girls, to point it out to them so that they could celebrate. Sometimes our members will just get so down in the dirt of just grinding away at achieving whatever we're trying to help them achieve and watching the content and doing it, they forget to celebrate. So we get to celebrate for them and remind them of that milestone, celebrate them, highlight them for the whole community to celebrate and acknowledge that. And then they'll pull their head up, and they'll feel, again, they'll want to stick around in a community that supports them like that. So that's a huge way of recognition to be able to do that. The next one is shout outs. Mention people by name in your videos, in your FAQs, or the audio or text materials that are delivered within your membership. The more you can weave in mentions of your members' names, the better. So an example might be, we're not talking about a spotlight or anything specific. We're talking about a shout out, like, hey, so last week I taught this concept, and I noticed that Josh did a really great job of doing that. Good job, Josh. But I wanted to go in and dive a little deeper in this. See how simple it was? Or hey, I saw that there were several of you that got a win last week implementing this. There was Bob and there was Terry. I saw Susan. I saw you there. Or if you're on a Zoom call, the easiest way is just, hey, Susan, how you doing? Hey, Bob, how you doing? Hey, Gil, what's up, my man? Right? You see that all the time in other memberships. You can do that the same, and it keeps them engaged. That people want that little shout out for nothing more than just to say their name. The next one is membership awards and certificates of achievement. Now, again, you can apply the mailing method or of communication by mailing out a certificate. We all know Russell Brunson. He mails out a 2 Comma Club award, a big old plaque. These are super simple ways of up-leveling recognition. You can create digital or physical awards or certificates. So any of those would work just fine. You don't need to go all out and create a whole 2 Comma Club award like Russell did, but you can create your own version of that, even a digital version. Next is leaderboards. So again, there's platforms out there like School and a few of the others out there that will allow you to gamify and create a leaderboard, or even in the Facebook group, you can just manually create a leaderboard. But this is another fun way to recognize members within your community. These can be created for any reason that you see fit, from completing content to community posts to wins. It's all up to you. But again, another way to recognize those that are in your group. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys a bonus here: pricing your membership. This is a delicate dance. This is about strategically pricing your membership and identifying the pricing sweet spot where members see the value and feel it's worth every penny, and yet also are paying enough to pay attention. We've all heard that, right? People who pay attention. This strategy works by pricing your membership, if you're starting out, at a slightly lower price than what you anticipate it being eventually. with full intention of raising it later on. Now you have to raise it later on. You can't tell people this is the introduction price and do it for the next 10 years. The thing about starting your membership low, it gives you the ability to bring in more members during your first launch. And from there on, you can raise your prices over time. And then when you decide to raise your prices, it serves as a built-in retention booster. Your current members will be locked in the current and much lower price as long as they remain members in good standing. And a member in good standing is someone who contributes to the community, has not canceled, and continues to pay month after month. And that means that they're getting the best possible deal. And listen, no one wants to give up a good deal. I'm still paying for memberships that because I got in at like, say, $5 a month, I'm still paying for that membership because now other people are paying $97 a month for that same membership. I half the time don't even use half the stuff in there anymore, but I don't want to give it up in the event that they do something that I need down the road. And so that's a great way for your pricing strategy. Start it lower. I actually train on this a lot. And one of the things I like to do is to say, hey, this is a beta run of this program, of this membership. Because of that, I'm going to give it to you at 50% off, or I'm going to give it to you at 25% off, or whatever it might be, and tell them this is going to be the price. This is what you're getting right now. And you're going to get all of the stuff, but because it's a beta program, you're also going to help me to develop it. You're going to help me to move forward and make it better. And because you're going to help me make it better, I'm going to give you that discount. So that's one of those strategies. Now, the next thing is membership challenges. Your membership challenges really are, again, how do we create the content regularly without burnout, without overwhelm? How do we engage the content regularly without burnout, without overwhelm, especially if we're running it by ourselves, if we don't have other team members to run it for us? How do we do all of those things and create a wonderful, thriving membership? Everything. Now, listen, everything that I shared with you today does not have to be, it doesn't have to be, I'm going to stop my share here for a second. So everything I shared with you today, it doesn't have to, you don't have to do every single one of those things. I want you to watch this webinar. I want you to look at, I want you to write down the things that you go, that makes sense. I can do that right now. That works for me. I want to do that, and implement. But the things that don't make sense or that seem too overwhelming, just set them aside. You can say, I'll come back to it later, or maybe I never do it in my membership. You don't have to do all of these memberships. But the point being is that in creating this thriving membership, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be bumps in the road. How do we automate? How do we delegate? How do we, know what's important and what's not important? How do we create this on our own? How do we create all of the content? How do we engage? Because it's not just creating, it's then engaging. There's a lot of challenges, and these are all challenges I ran into as I was starting my own memberships as a solopreneur and first had my original memberships and things like that going. And that's one of the things that I worked out. I figured out how to automate. You guys know I'm the productivity guy. You guys know I don't work more than 30 hours a week on anything. I'm not saying 30 hours for this project, 30 hours for that. No, like 30 hours combined. I don't know all, but I know a great deal of the tools. I've worked with the tools, the automation tools. I've worked with people. They've created softwares to help engagement that automatically engage. And with AI and chat bots and things coming along, it's now become a lot easier. So that creates a whole separate set of challenges. First, the challenges were all of the how do I do this? Now the challenges are I know what's going to solve those problems. How do I implement these things, these automations, these chatbots, these AI? How do I do that with this without spending a million hours trying to learn that? That's the key, right? We don't want to spend, we get 168 hours a week. We don't want to spend 100 hours a week watching YouTube trying to figure out how to implement these things to maybe get just that much of a gain every week. We want to start thriving, and we want to create a thriving community, and we want to get out there and impact people and serve them now, not later. And I know that feeling. I know that frustration. I've been there. I got to get my message out now. This is the time to strike. This is the time to get people changing and impacting, and the world is changing, and people are thinking about it. And what I'm doing is going to actually improve their lives, and it's going to bring all of this stuff that they need into their lives. I know that feeling. I get it. I've been there. I've been you. So that's why one of the things that I've done is for you guys to be able to uh, to accelerate, to increase your impact at a much quicker, much a faster rate at an implement and to get everything learned so much easier, I created the Membership Secrets coaching programs. Now, this is not a membership. This is a coaching program. Membership Secrets is a 90-day coaching program that helps course creators, consultants, and online coaches create and grow recurring revenue. Listen, real quick. I'm going to stop the share real quick because I want you to see me and I want you to look in my eyes. You don't have a business until you have recurring revenue. You don't have a business until you can say, this is how much I know I'm going to make every month because of my recurring revenue. You can launch. I did that. You launch, you make a big chunk of money, and then you kind of whittle it down over the year. And then as you get close to the end, you go, let's launch a new thing. And then you get a big chunk of money and you whittle it down. I don't like living like that. You don't like living like that. You want to be able to pay your bills consistently. You want to be able, this is how you get the recurring funds to build a team. This is how I built a team, by getting these recurring funds. You don't have a business until you have that sort of a membership, some sort of a recurring funds, so that you know every month that you're going to make at least X amount of dollars. Okay. And there's also a way to figure out your attrition rate, like how much you're going to lose every month, and how to gain more and continue to actually grow it and scale it. And again, that's all part of this Membership Secrets that I will be sharing with you. You start out, first thing, we're going to talk about the community catalyst, building a thriving, engaged community without losing freedom of time. We're going to talk about your content creator and how to automate that, communication commander, how to communicate, how to create engaging emails that people open and set it on automatic. The next phase is optimization tactics, recognizing the recognition rewarder, how to appropriately recognize and get people engaged that way. And then the automation architect, we're going to move into automating as much as possible, literally building a team of robots and chatbots so that you can do what you need to in the group and be at your highest best use versus being at the beck and call of this monster that you're creating, this membership. We're going to talk about the pricing prodigy. This is how you can create different pricing tiers. I have a membership right now that has 3 different pricing tiers, and the way the ideology behind it, the idea is that in those 3 tiers, there's one that I really want them to sign up for. It's actually the middle tier, but I give a smaller tier for those that are, and obviously they have less access to some of the membership resources. But for those that want to learn, but they can't quite afford that next tier, I give a larger tier that includes just a couple of things. It really doesn't make it that much more valuable. But if people are going to sign up, really, it's what it is. It's an annual prepay. If people are going to sign up for the year, then I'm going to give them a couple of bonuses. But that middle tier, which is $97 a month, that middle tier is where I really want them. That's the sweet spot. And that's where I've loaded it up to just be almost irresistible for people to sign up there. I'm going to teach you how to do that, how you can go from having just one tier in your membership to creating 3 or 4 tiers and really zeroing in on what you really want people to be paying you every month. So that's part of the pricing prodigy skill. The next thing is the organized mastery, daily task master. So you know what to do daily. So again, it just becomes part of your daily routine. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to put effort into it. You don't have to plan it. You just know what checklists you need to hit. We're going to give you those checklists. We're going to help you to implement them, whether it's Asana or ClickUp, whatever your favorite software is, so that you can literally click through, and once they're all done, the next day they're all reset for you to do again. The weekly workflow, there's a difference between the daily to the weekly. You're going to have things that you have to do weekly. And then the monthly momentum, this is to achieve monthly goals and long-term growth without losing passion or drive to serve the people that you feel called to serve. This is the goal of this program, is for you to have everything you need and have a thriving membership at the end of 3 months. For you to have a thriving membership, not just a membership, but a thriving membership, something that people are talking about, something that are getting referrals, something that is going to help you to grow and create sustainable goals and create that real business. So what we've done for this is, what you're going to get is 3 months of weekly live training with me. This isn't going to be one of my coaches. This is going to be me. That's a $4,500 value. You're going to get 3 months of weekly office hours. Okay. The the 3 months of weekly office hours is going to be a second day during the week where you can come and you're going to get training, and then you're going to come back for office hours and say, hey, I have tried to apply this. I kind of lost out. I don't know what I'm doing and I need some help. You're going to get monthly mastermind meetups. This is where we're just going to bring everybody in the group. We're going to say, everybody's going to come together. I want to hear what's your best practices, what's working best for you, and the things that you're learning. Maybe somebody's got a question and maybe I'm not the guy to answer it. Maybe it's somebody else in the group, but monthly mastermind. And this is also networking so that you guys become friends with each other and you guys can support each other's businesses. You're going to get the exclusive community for continued networking. So it's not just once a month. So you guys can network and talk and chat and help each other out as much as possible. Bonus one is, so the monthly mastermind is 4,000. The exclusive community for networking is 4,000. The bonus one, automation library, that's a $1,500 bonus. That's going to be, I literally charge people, I'll charge people $1,500 just to meet with them, to basically give them this list, just to tell them, here's the best automations out there right now, and here's how to implement them. So you're going to get that as a bonus. You're going to get the template library. So all of our emails, all of our best content, all of the things that you want, you're going to have it in this library, the template. But here's the really cool part. If you see me post something, if you see me do something and you say, man, I'd really love to copy that, we'll throw it into the template library. If it's something you think that should be in there, we'll put it in there so you can have access to it. You're going to get our resource library. So again, this is everything that all of the resources we've used to learn to get to the point where we're at. We're going to throw in there as much as we can as possible. Again, we're always finding new resources. We're always learning. My company tries to stay on the cutting edge of what we teach, because it does us no good to teach you something, especially when we're talking about technology, that is completely irrelevant in 3 months. And then to just, when you come back and say, oh, this is changed, for me to say, well, go watch this training. It's right. We're going to stay on the cutting edge. So these automation libraries, this template library, the resource library will always keep growing, and you will always get the latest in there. You're also going to get the quick action bonus. If you guys sign up now, again, this was part of the original offer that got cut off through the internet. But if you guys sign up before April 22nd, that's next Monday. If you sign up before April 22nd, you will get a live purpose-driven productivity workshop and PDF planner. This is the same workshop that Dean Graziosi had me come and teach live as a featured bonus to his LPA. In fact, I'd like you to hear what Dean has to say about it. So let me just play that video real quick, just 1 second, and then we'll be right back.
And lastly, we wanted to do something cool, take one of our students, turn coaches, and Josh has got a pretty amazing, I shouldn't say pretty, a damn amazing program on time management. The team got with him, we made a deal with him and said, hey, can we include that killer time management course? So you get, once a student, now on the panel, now as course, you get it all locked in today.
Guys, when Josh gave us the seminar on the time management and productivity, and it was a game changer.
But I'm doing this video to say thank you to Josh. I do not have any other words for what your workshop of time management has done for me. I have no other words but thank you.
Just come off watching the workshop on productivity and time management, and as Mike said, I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, absolutely awesome, wasn't it? I mean, I don't think we were expecting that. I mean, I have no doubt we'll all be watching multiple replays of this workshop, because it was just such a fantastic workshop.
I just want to say, oh wow, I just got out of a bonus on time management today. It was absolutely fantastic. If you are not there, watch the replay.
Okay, so you saw what Dean had to say about it. You saw what some of the people who went through it had to say about it and what their thoughts were. So I want you guys to really understand, this is a huge bonus here. This is what I charge. I mean, it says $5,000. That's just the course. Okay. Doing it live, I've charged up to $50,000 to do this live for corporations, to do it I do it one-on-one with some of my clients, $50,000 a year for a one-on-one coaching. This is a huge, huge value here. And what it's going to do is it's combine this with what you're going to be learning in the membership secrets coaching. And you really will be able to create a retentive membership, a membership that retains, a membership that thrives, a membership that grows, a membership that creates impact and power to it. And you'll be able to do it in less than 30 to 40 hours a week, which is like a job right there. And that's what you can do. Now, as you build your team, you'll be able to engage less and less in the group, and you'll be able to have more and more freedom of time. And that's kind of what we're hoping to get you to, so that the next step is let's help you build your team. But that's a whole nother discussion, right? So all of this is a $25,000. I didn't put it on there. It's $25,000 value is what it is. We're going to charge $10,000. This is something that we're going to launch as a company, as a team, and we're going to be charging $10,000 for people to come and join us for 3 months to work together in a cohort and to join us and join this program. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you're not going to pay $10,000. What we're going to do is we're going to, again, $25,000 value. We are going to offer it to you at a locked-in investment of $5,000. So what do I mean by locked-in investment of $5,000? What I mean is this, that if you decide to renew, because again, creating a membership, it's always going to be new. It's always going to be growing. If you would like to stay in the group after that 3 months, if you're like, I've got my value, I've got a thriving group, I don't want to lose out on the most cutting edge of this. I don't want to miss out on what Josh is teaching. I want to continue on, or you want to move to, I want to see what he's going to teach about building a team, because eventually that's going to be a part of this. Like I said, we're working on, is it a next level? Is it a part of this? What do we do? But the idea is this: your investment is locked in at $5,000. If you re-up, it's only $5,000. You're not going to pay the $10,000. If we up this to 15, 20, or 25,000, you're not going to pay that. If we decide to change this to a 6-month program, you're going to stay locked in, and you're going to stay in that 6-month program. We're going to give that to you. Whatever we do with this, you stay locked in as a founding member. Again, I'm actually using some of the methods here that I taught you about pricing. This is a beta pricing. You can get in as a beta user. You can help me to finesse and fine tune the program. And by doing so, you get a discount. Plus it's locked in no matter what no matter how long you decide to stay with us in the continuing programs, in the continuing iterations of this program. It will always be $5,000 to you. So that is exactly why we say, the locked in price of $5,000. So if you are interested, if you're watching this video, you should have a blue button down below to be able to take care of that and get that, log into that. If you don't have that blue button, go to the purposedriven.co. That's the purposedriven.co/MSCart. It'll tell you again, everything you're going to get in there, and it'll show you what you're going to get. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you out, answer your questions. And we can work things out. If you need a payment plan, we can work on a payment plan with this as well. But I definitely want to encourage you, if you're thinking about a membership, no matter what you are, if you're teaching people about finances, if you're teaching people about health and wealth, if you're teaching people about, crystals or chakras or Christianity or whatever it is, you don't have a real business until you have a recurring revenue, until you have a membership that you can anticipate, you can plan for, and you can budget based on that recurring revenue, so that you know how to grow a team. You got your bases covered. You can pay their wages and salaries. I'll tell you, once I created a membership, once I figured this out, my business became settled, my mind became settled, my heart became settled, my stomach became settled for sure, because I wasn't stressed all the time about what's going to be the next thing I create. All I have to think about is, what is the next piece of value I'm going to give to my members? What is the next thing I'm going to teach them? What is the next thing I'm going to give to them, instead of what is the next thing I got to launch? What is the next thing I got to get people excited about? I've already got people excited. I've already got fans. It's just, what is the next thing I'm going to teach them? So I want you guys to please click the link. Please click on the button. I want to see you inside. I want to see you guys have success. If I shared this video with you, it's because I personally know you or desire to know you, and I want you to have the success in your life that I've had in mine, the success that I've learned from mentors like Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Michael Hyatt, Donald Miller, and I want to pass that on to you. And I want you to create a real business, a recurring revenue business so that you can stop existing and start living, so that you can succeed in business while winning at home. I'll see you guys on the inside. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.